Yo, what's going on YouTube? It is your boy GZTV, and since I haven't been able to talk to you guys about basketball all weekend, I couldn't do it Friday night, Saturday night, and Sundays. We normally don't do it, but I feel like we should talk about just the entire weekend of basketball, NBA. I know you guys are more concerned with the NCAA tournament. They did the selection show and stuff. Do not worry, we will be doing NCAA content. I actually plan on maybe even going through the games this year and like instead of the NBA ones, and even like throughout the weekend, like we'll probably pause the Sopranos because this is a big sporting event. I mean, it's one of the biggest sporting events in probably the world. Like, I know you have the World Cup, I know you have the Euro League and all that stuff, and there's a lot that I don't name, a bunch of racing stuff, but March Madness is huge, especially in America, of course, but yeah, we had a nice weekend of basketball. There was actually some pretty good games. I think there were about 8 that I want to talk about. So let's just kind of get to that. Let's start with the Clippers and the Pelicans. Zion Williamson cut them up, man. Scored 34. The Pelicans beat the Clippers by 8 to tighten the race for the number 4 seed. This is a big win for the Pelicans. They're trying to inch closer to that seed. And again, I mean, this will be a long video, by the way, just so you know. So yeah, Zion Williamson snagged an inbound pass in the backcourt with just less than 4 seconds remaining in the third quarter, embarked on a sprinting end-to-end dribble, and sank a driving floater just as the buzzer sounded. So yeah, he was taken over. They gave him the ball, let him do what he wanted with it. Obviously, CJ McCollum was hitting shots, and on the other side, PG was playing pretty good. Zubac was dishing the rock around. Kawhi was hitting shots. I mean, Kawhi's going to be Kawhi. But yeah, it was Zion. Obviously, again, you got to give credit to guys like Paul George. He put up 26. He shot 33% from three. A lot of injury troubles, a lot of rest to kind of prep for the playoffs, I guess. Kawhi at 23, shot 33% from three. Yeah, not having Harden hurts because having Bones Highland in there, I don't hate Bones Highland, but like, I don't know. I'd almost rather have Norman Powell starting for Bones Highland in that situation, but I guess Bones is more of a true point. So, I don't know. Shout out to Zion. Zion did it all. I mean, 34 points, 67% shooting. Absolutely incredible. Should I show you guys my new basketball shoes real quick? Peep. The new kicks. I got the Dexter Laboratory Mellows, but I don't know if anyone's in here quite, but got those. If you guys want to watch back the video, I mean, obviously you can. So, shout out to Zion. Zion did it all for the Pelicans that game. The last game I want to talk about from Friday was the Hawks and Jazz game. This was actually interesting. I was watching it in the hotel. Pretty interesting game. Keontae George and Colin Sexton helped the Jazz beat the Hawks by 2. And Quinn Snyder's returned to Utah. Obviously, Quinn Snyder is now the coach of the Hawks. So, pretty cool to see him kind of get back to his roots. Obviously, great scoring from guys like Keontae George and Colin Sexton. John Collins got to the rim and dunked it down. He's also playing against his old team. Colin Sexton was getting to the rack. Keontae George was hitting tough shots. Colin Sexton was hitting threes. And Micah Potter was hitting threes, I guess. I don't know. But Jalen Johnson continuing to have, despite the loss, continuing to have a most improved type season. He put up 26. He shot 50% from 3. You get 10 and 15 from Clint Capella, who shot 50%. 33 points for DeJounte Murray, 27 for DeAndre Hunter. Obviously, having Krejci in the starting lineup isn't ideal. They're dealing with the absence of Trae Young, so there's that. Obviously, you'd like to see a guy like Garrison Matthews play over Krejci, though. I feel like they could have started him, but that was a bit strange. Looking at the Jazz, you get 18 and 11 from John Collins, made both of his threes, shot 70%. You get 21 from Colin Sexton, who shot 50% from 3. You get 25 from Keontae George. So shout out to the Jazz. They're not even going to make the play-in, which is kind of crazy because they were making a decent push. But teams are starting to get eliminated from the playoffs. The race is getting close. So yeah, let's move on into Saturday. And by the way, for that March Madness video, I don't know how much I'm going to edit that. I might just do a fat stream. We'll see how it goes. But that's a lot of matchups. I mean, we're looking at 32 plus 16 is 48, plus 8 is 56, plus 4 is 60, plus it's like 63 different matchups. So that's a lot. So Let's get into the Saturday action, starting with the Thunder and Grizzlies game. I'm not sure why this game was so close, but Thunder beat the Grizzlies by 6. They move into a tie with Denver atop the Western Conference standings. Now, I don't know if that changed from now with the Sunday game. That was just kind of the headline. I'm going off of ESPN here. Chet Holmgren had a breakout game, great scoring, great rebounding. Obviously, J-Dub was scoring the rock pretty well, passing the rock a little bit as well. Held him off. Yeah, they go on the road. I mean, all road games are going to be pretty difficult, but then again, it is the Grizzlies. Like, come on. Santi Aldama was hitting tough shots. Desmond Bane is back. That's huge for them. He hit a tough shot. A lot of really good offense from Desmond Bane in his return. John Konkar was... It looked like the Grizzlies did look pretty good out there. I mean, obviously, Chet did put up 22 and 11 while shooting 50% from 3. You get 23 from J-Dub, shooting 33% from 3. You get 20 from Shea, shooting 50%. You know, he's never going to falter under that line. Why the fuck are people spamming my phone right now? It's whatever. If you hear a phone, just don't worry about it. But getting into the Grizzlies, I mean, you get 22 from Desmond Bane in his return, which is great. But again, John Morant still leaves a hole. You still have a guy like Luke Kennard starting. That's not going to really do much for your team. You know, him and John Konkar are not going to get it done, which is the sad reality. I don't think this team is ever going to be that successful, which really sucks because I want to see Ja do good, you know, despite all of the controversy. But yeah, a decent amount of good games here. Let's move on to the Warriors-Lakers. This was the one that NBA Twitter was talking about all weekend. Just couldn't stop talking about it. But yeah, Steph Curry scores 31 in his return as the Warriors beat the Lakers by 7 despite 40 points from LeBron James. And again, we just continue to have those conversations about LeBron. When is he going to let up? When is he going to decline? And the answer to that is probably never. He's probably going to decide one day, okay, I don't want to play basketball anymore. But that's not because he's really drained or like old. Because he's damn near 40 out here dropping 40. That's insane. 40 at 40. But yeah, Stephen Curry celebrated his belated birthday by returning to the lineup. This was a huge victory. I mean, these are two teams that are teetering on the line. They're fighting for that 9 and 10, even though it doesn't really matter because you're still going to play each other in the play-in if you don't move up a couple spots. But yeah, Curry was hitting tough shot after tough shot. Great scoring night for him. Jackson Hayes was getting pretty aggressive. You like that for the Lakers. This was a close game. Yeah, again, LeBron was getting through defense and hitting tough ones. Anthony Davis gets hit in the eye and apparently has a corneal abrasion, which are only out for a couple days for you. Just have to like kind of rest your eyes and shit. So it sucks. That's kind of a dumb injury, kind of petty, kind of unlucky, but it is what it is. Draymond had 13 assists and 12 rebounds. He shot 50%. You get 23 from Jonathan Kuminga. He's having an amazing season. 67% from 3. Steph Curry put up 31. He shot 30% from 3, 50% overall. You get 26 from Clay off the bench, 50% from 3, 60% overall. So yeah, the Warriors were on one. Do we expect them to play like this every game? Not really, but yeah. Obviously, looking at the Lakers, LeBron put up 40. He shot 60% from 3, 23 and 13 from D'Lo. He shot 30% from 3. And I mean, if they had this version of D'Lo last year, things could have ended a lot differently for them. But obviously, you know, Anthony Davis getting hurt definitely cost them the game as they had guys like Taurean Prince kind of coming in. I don't know. It really sucks that he got hurt. This would have been a better game. Lakers probably would have won it, but I'm not a fan of hypotheticals. So let's just move on to the Knicks and Kings game. Why is my thing doing this? Can we not? Thank you. Knicks and Kings. Jalen Brunson becomes the 4th Knicks player with consecutive 40-point games. He leads New York past the Kings. Yeah, Jalen Brunson has been on a hell of a tear. No one's really talking about it, so it's kind of interesting to talk about it here. Great scoring. And he is probably already might be like a top 5 Knicks scorer ever. And I think by the end of his career, if he stays on this team long enough, he is going to be etched in that stadium for years. Like, I'm not trying to hype him up or anything and like sound ridiculous, but he's been really special this season. So yeah, he's great. They win a close game, win by 7. Insane streaks, some insane runs, fooling defense, that fake screen call was insane. Yeah, he was fired up, brought the energy all game, was hitting tough shots. De'Aaron Fox was passing the rock around. He was arguing with the refs, got a little heated. This was a pretty intense game. I mean, these are two pretty high caliber teams. But yeah, all we needed was Jalen Brunson putting up 42 and shooting 50% from three, and they were well on their way. It's crazy. I mean, they don't have Julius Randle, and they're still a really good team without him. So hopefully they get him back for the playoffs. You look at the Kings, you get 21 and 14 for Domantas Sabonis. Made is only 3. You get 20 for De'Aaron Fox. Kevin Huerter was absent this game. I don't really know what happened with him. He was very cold, which led guys like Malik Monk and something Ellis to come in and kind of take over. So, yeah, I mean, those were the only guys that were even doing anything off the bench. But that wraps up Saturday. Sunday, we have a couple of games. We're going to start. We had a couple buzzer beaters and then one OT game we'll talk about. Let's get into my boy Chippy with the Heat and Pistons. The Pistons have caused a lot of stress for the Heat in this little series they had. But Bam Adebayo hits the buzzer-beating threes. The Heat beat the Pistons by 3. Insane shot at the buzzer. And I was talking with my uncle, and we were talking about how there were like consecutive buzzer beaters within an hour of each other. I thought that was kind of insane. Great shot from Bam to win the game. That was a deep 3 too. But Duncan Robinson was hitting threes. Jaime Jaquez was getting to the rim. Simone Fontecchio for the Pistons was actually giving them a pretty hard time, both on offense and on defense. So that's kind of cool to see him kind of succeed on a new team, get an elevated role. But yeah, shout out to Duncan Robinson. He put up 30. He shot 67%. You get 20 and 17 from Bam, and he made that insane buzzer-beating 3. No Jimmy Butler, no problem. They're able to kind of get it done. The Pistons, you get 11 and 10 out of Jalen Duren, but that's really it. They really didn't play that well. You would have wanted a little more involvement with a guy like James Wiseman on this team, just kind of the X-Factor guys. I don't think the starters necessarily played horrible, but, some guys off the bench could definitely put some work in there, but, there's that. Then we had the other game winner, which was the Nuggets and the Mavs game. Kyrie Irving's running left-hander at the buzzer lifts the Mavs over the Nuggets by 2. A floater, a runner, a hook shot, call it whatever. I mean, people all over the internet, people all over on Twitter don't even know what to call this shot. It is kind of fucking insane. Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't know how you make that shot left-handed from the free throw line. This is like some 2K shit, like some pro 2K player type shit. Ridiculous shot right over Jokic too. I mean, Jokic had a really good contest on this. This was insane to watch. I watched it live. I obviously didn't watch that much basketball today because I was kind of doing homework. I hung out with my family till about 1. But Luka, he had a huge 3 too, which helped. Jamal Murray, they were kind of just going back and forth, a lot of late buckets. This was just a clutch time game. It's one of those games that didn't really get that interesting until we got runs from the Nuggets and they came back. And yeah, Luka Doncic though, he was tough all game, and obviously Daniel Gafford was a decent shot maker for them as well. But MPJ put up 20. You get 16 and 11 from Jokic. You get 23 out of Jamal Murray shooting 40% from 3. Not much else. Let's see. Peyton Watson's usually a pretty big X-Factor type player. You kind of wanted him to kind of get a couple more shot opportunities. Again, this is another game where the Nuggets starters actually played pretty solid. It's just the bench needs to put more work in. But yeah, looking at the Mavs, I mean, you look at the box score for them, and it's like all single digits, and then you get to Kyrie and Luka, and then Kyrie puts up 24, Luka puts up 37 and 10. So it's just crazy. Like, that's obviously not substantial, and they're going to have to figure that out soon, but it's just wild. What a shot from Kyrie, though. Dope stuff. Moving on to the Spurs and the Nets, which is going to close us out. This was the OT contest. I don't think I want to talk about the first 4 games for March Madness. I think I want to just talk about only tournament games and only close ones too. I don't think we're going to talk about every single game every single night. Yo, what's going on, Chippy? I actually was just talking about the Heat not too long ago. Insane. But talking about the Spurs Nets right now, Victor Wembanyama put up 33 points, 16 rebounds. Yeah, Bam hit 3 threes this season. I'm pretty sure that's a career high, and it's like almost as much as he has shot like the rest of his career. It's kind of insane. And people are like raving about it all over the place. Like if Bam Adebayo develops a jump shot, oh my god, it's over for the rest of the league. He's going to be one of the most skilled big men in the entire NBA. But yeah, Wembanyama, man, insane. They won by 7 in OT. Insane scoring, insane rebounding, 7 blocks, 7 assists. I mean, we are looking at a marvel of a basketball player, man. Right there. You see it. You see the jersey. You see it. Spo finally unleashed him. Yeah, like, you just got to try some things. Like, that's the thing about the NBA. You got to experiment with your offense, and kind of figure things out. Because I feel like all along, like, Bam has a pretty solid enough mid-range game where it's like, why not? Yeah, I don't know. He does have a 3-point shot. I know he does. Like, you can tell Bam can shoot threes. It's weird. I don't know. But yeah, obviously Victor played good. Cam Thomas played really good. He was scoring the ball really well, but good job from the Spurs. 3 straight games they lost coming into this, and then yeah. Wemby, just rare game after rare game, rare stat lines all across the board. It's just insane to watch. Tough shots, pinning things off the backboard, alley-oop slams. I mean, what more? Yeah, but Dennis Schroeder was keeping it close. This was a really intense game. But yeah, Nick Claxton put up 11 and 14. You get 31 from Cam Thomas. Oh yeah, the Victor jersey. I'm gonna keep it for sure. But again, DFS, man, for the Nets. I feel like he struggles all the time for them. It's really weird. They have a weird situation over there again. It's looking bleak for teams like Brooklyn, man. It's looking bad. But Wemby put up 33 and 15. You also get 25 from Devin Vassell and 24 off the bench from Keldon Johnson while shooting 67%. So, I mean, hey, man. They had other guys, too. They had a really good game. Again, let's just talk about tomorrow's games. Obviously, we have the Cavs and the Pacers. The Heat are playing the Sixers. That should be pretty fun. Knicks are playing the Warriors. I think that'll be enjoyable. So, yeah, I think the ESPN doubleheaders are usually pretty good, and I think they will be tomorrow. But, yeah, March Madness, man. It's coming up, coming right around the corner. Yes, happy St. Patty's Day. I actually have my Celtics lanyard in the background conveniently. I'm not wearing any other green but that. But, yeah. I'm a Celtics fan, so I guess it's a fun day for me. We got the dub. Not really worth talking about, obviously. We were playing the Wizards, so who really cares? But, yeah, I guess we can look at the playoffs picture. Yeah, obviously Detroit and Washington are out. Portland, San Antonio. I guess nothing's really changed. There's still a couple teams that can possibly fight for play-in spots coming up. Watch out for Brooklyn. They might be able to sneak one over the Hawks. I doubt it, but you never know. And obviously, like, the Rockets could sneak in, but I doubt that as well. So I feel like the playoff picture is actually pretty set this year compared to other years in terms of the 10 teams for each conference that'll actually be able to fight for the title. So I'm out, guys. Have a good rest of your night.